Welcome to another episode of Over Us. Today we have the wonderful Courtney Gracia. I was having a little bit of trouble pronouncing her last name. I don't know why.
It's a tongue twister.
It's fairly easy. I was trying to say Gracia, but she wouldn't let me. She shut me down, and now we're here at Gracia. But Courtney, thank you so much for being on. You are Tom Ferry's social media manager.
Mhm.
Very big deal in this real estate space. So for people who may not know you, can you kind of give us your elevator pitch? Who is Courtney?
Yeah, well, thank you guys for having me on. It's nice to meet you now on virtually, and then I've met Eric before. I
Sorry to hear that.
unfortunately, right? I guess my elevator pitch is I've been in social media for over 6 years. I used to work at a marketing agency, but I originally didn't come into social media like right out of high school. It was one of those things where like my parents were like, you have to go to college, figure out what you want to do. So I went to Cal State Fullerton and I got my degree in communications and PR. And then I minored in American Studies. So I thought that I was going to do PR for like a hospital or some sort of organization. And then it turns out it was super hard to get a job out of college. And I started thinking, like, okay, well, I'm not getting anything for PR. I started seeing all these social media coordinator roles. And I was like, oh, like I'll apply for that. Social media, I have a social media platform, like I'll figure it out. And I ended up getting hired at an agency down here in Orange County. And so right off the bat, I just kind of jumped into social media. I had over 8 clients. I wrote all the copy for it. I had retail clients and healthcare. So I guess it kind of touched on my PR level in a way. And then I was looking to kind of grow in my career, and I actually had no idea who Tom Ferry was. My previous client was Irvine Company, so I had like an insight into real estate. But then I found Tom Ferry. I applied for Tom Ferry as a social media specialist, and now I've been with Tom for almost 4 years. So yeah, that's my pitch.
Unreal, Eric. I thought you were gonna. It looked like you're gonna jump
We
in.
we both just say nothing.
Yeah. Well, thanks very much for being on the show,
Yeah.
and take care. You pretty
You're
much.
like, "Oh, you didn't
That's
know who he was? Nick."
well. I know it's like, yeah, but okay. So you didn't know who Tom was.
Mhm.
That's gonna shock a lot of people in
Yeah.
our industry. I mean, he's like he is a celebrity. Isn't it weird? Just side note that your job can be social media now.
Yeah,
Like,
it's so weird. To be honest, it's one of those things too, like, when I got the job at the agency and I told my parents, like, "Oh, I'm doing social media," they're kinda like, "For what?" Like, "Social media for what?" And then now it's just become this monster of a thing, and now I'm thankful that I actually got in with an agency too. So it was a win-win for me because I learned everything at that agency, and now I feel like I have years of experience, and that's kind of what, like, rolls the ball faster nowadays is, like, the experience and the exposure that you've had.
When you say you had a platform before you were applying to these jobs, the social media platform, do you mean you were posting on Instagram and got like a big following, or what do you mean by that?
No, just like a
You just
a
had
normal
an Instagram.
user, just had an
Got it.
Instagram, and when I applied for the agency, they made me do, like, a homework assignment where I had to do social for 2 weeks on 2 of their clients, and I had to put together this, like, big PowerPoint presentation, and I found it extremely easy to put together because I was just so well versed with, like, being on social media, I guess, that once I had that I only had 1 interview with them, and then I got hired and started, like, the following week, and that was
So
just based off of social.
what was your interview like with Tom? Like, were you interviewing to be his specific social media manager?
So the interesting thing, is that when I applied for the position, I applied as a social media specialist, and I guess that they already had, like, a strategist there. Well, when I was interviewing, that strategist had left. So they essentially I interviewed on a Friday with one person, and I got a call Monday morning that they hired me. And I quit my job at the agency immediately, and that following week, I started essentially doing the strategy and the posting and all of that, thinking that, like, help would come in, and I think that they didn't realize how much experience I'd gotten from the agency, that I was running 8 clients accounts, that to me, this like one person was easy, like one person, one brand, super easy. So they never replaced that person. And I just kind of took over the full strategy of it, the posting. I didn't interview with Tom at all, actually. I met Tom my first day of work. They were filming a show and he walked in and he's like, "Hey, I need behind the scenes social stuff." And I was like, "Oh, okay, yeah, like sure." And then I started right then and there. And what's actually interesting is when I left my agency job, they told me like, "Oh, you'll never work with Tom. Like he's too high up in the company. You'll be doing the company social media. Like you're never going to work with him." And I was like, "Okay."
Well, you showed them.
I showed
And
them,
now
yeah,
look at you. Now you're on the number one podcast in the world,
in
and you
America.
work for
Yeah.
and you work for Tom Ferry. So they can.
Yeah.
I don't know. They might be nice people, but I was gonna say something bad, but
They could shove it. How
they
about
could
that?
shove it. Yeah,
Yeah.
right where the sun don't shine.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
for what is your main goal for posting for Tom Ferry? Like what are you trying to get out of it for him?
I think it's in a way like trying to elevate his brand awareness online and trying to be Tom online. I'm not, yes, I'm creating content for him, but Tom is also extremely involved. So I'm trying to make it as like personal as possible for the user. And also, Tom's a very unique individual to where, like I said, he wants to be so involved that a lot of people like these celebrities or other people you follow, when it's really hard to get in touch with them, you DM them, they never see it. Like Tom's not that kind of person at all. So my main goal is to just like portray Tom the best I know how he is, in person.
So how do you learn that voice? Is it just from the experience of hanging out with them? Because I feel like I would never want someone to take over my social media until they hung out with me every single day for like 5 straight years. Because I've ran into this problem too, where it's like I'm
Yeah.
posting so much, I would love for someone to kind of echo my voice.
Yeah.
So what did you do to learn his voice?
So the first thing I did was I read his books, because Tom wrote those books. And so I was like, okay, I'm going to know the background of him from family life to how he started his business, when he worked with his dad, all of that. So, like, I dove into reading all of his books. And then I started reading blog articles and things that were on the website. And then looking into talks that Tom has done, like that he speaks to different brokerages or like his private event talks, and seeing how he speaks. And then I also looked back at all of his previous posts because Tom was the one posting it. So like I know Tom always has grammar edits. I know he doesn't use YOU when he spells you. He uses a U. Like I know he has these weird like little ticks in a way of like he doesn't put a period right away. He puts a space then a period. Like I just started picking up on all of those things from his previous posts.
That's so true.
Yeah.
Like now that I'm like
But you DM with
thinking
him all the time,
all
Matt?
that we text, we DM,
That's so true. That's exactly how
we
Tom communicates.
we Zoom, I FaceTime him sometimes just to,
Right.
we do it all.
Yeah.
Because we're good friends. How do you not interfere with each other? Because of course Tom still has access to his page
Yeah.
and you do as well. So what is like, do you give him like, okay, you can't post, like I'm gonna do this, and then you like, does he take care of stories and you take care of the feed, or like how does it work?
No, it's just one of those things where I have like the calendar of certain posts that need to go out. So like our daily shows, like I know for a fact those need to go out. I have the assets for all of that stuff, and then I just let Tom do whatever he wants to do and I work around it. So like if I see that Tom's on a flight and he's doing an ask me anything in his stories, I'm not going to post stories in between him because I know that he wants it. He's answering people right now. So I just kind of like work around him in a sense. Or if there's like a major thing, I'll text him and let him know, like, "Hey, tomorrow morning I'm posting this. Like, can you engage with the comments?" And he'll be like, "Yeah, sure." So it's just a means of working around and being in constant communication with him.
What about the DMs? Is that you or Tom? When
It's
I'm communicating with Tom, who is that?
so it's honestly dependent on how active Tom is that day. I look through the DMs to see if there's anything I've missed or Tom has promised someone, because Tom does respond to the DMs. And so there'll be sometimes where he'll tell someone like, "Yeah, for sure, like I'm good for lunch," and then I have to coordinate with Tom's assistant to make sure, like, "Hey, just letting you know, Tom approved lunch with this person." And she's like, "Okay, got it." So it's a means of, like, picking up the pieces in his DMs, but I'm not DMing his wife back or people back being like, "How was your weekend?" You know? Like, it's
Is
not
there
my place.
anyone that's kinda bumped to the top or that, you give priority to possibly? Like, are
Ye
there any other agents in the mastermind or something that you're like, "Hey, Josh Rubin just DM'd, we gotta respond to him."
Matt Leonetti,
Matt, yeah,
probably.
exactly.
So the only people I have flagged on in his DMs are his wife and his kids. So
Okay.
Okay,
those are
got
the
it.
only ones who have priority.
So, Eric, Courtney's being very nice right now. You get the bot in Tom's
Yep,
DMs. It's a Tom bot.
it's a quick
I either
reply.
get I either get Courtney or Tom. Um,
Exactly.
so do
Yeah,
you
I
ever
was fishing for it there,
I know,
saying if
fishing for a
anyone
compliment that you
bumped
didn't
up,
get.
but was not there,
No,
okay.
you didn't get anything. That'd be funny though if you just started like agreeing to a bunch of like dinners and stuff and
Lunches.
Tom didn't know.
I know. I start looking through. I'm like, "What did you ask him?" Oh, I'm gonna say no. He's not available.
Yeah, just yeah, it could be like anyone, like Brad Pitt could like message Tom, be like, "Hey, Tom, you want to come over for like a bite?" And you'd be like, "No,
He's
screw you."
busy.
So how long was that kind of period of you said you just kind of started. You
Mhm.
didn't really interview or anything. So how long was it to get into a groove and kind of have Tom trust you and kind of give you full reign of the account?
Immediate, to be honest.
That's
It was
crazy.
like the day I started, I met him. I filmed behind the scenes stuff, and then I got all the passwords to his stuff, and he pretty much was like, "Here you go." Like, "Here you go," you know? And I have a work phone, so I have, like, I'm attached to all of his accounts, like, not on my personal stuff, but it was like, yeah, the day I got hired, they needed someone to pick up the pieces right away because I was essentially replacing 2 people, so it was like, "Figure it out."
You
And
could
yeah.
sabotage his entire business. I mean, not the amount of trust you have to put in something for, 24 hours is, that's
Yeah,
that's a special thing. Obviously, you interviewed very well and,
yeah,
presented yourself well with your previous work, but I can't imagine just giving someone that free reign.
yeah.
Do you do all the other social as well? Or you do like posting on Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, publishing everything?
Everything. So I essentially house all of Tom's stuff, but last year I hired a social media coordinator and she handles all of the company posting. So Ferry International, she creates all the content for Ferry International for Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, all of that. And it's kind of been nice because it's in a way I've been able to teach her like everything I've learned at an agency and show her how to do reporting, show her how to do, write copy, how to make graphics if she has to, like all of that stuff, but she handles all of the company page, and then she's actually based out in Dallas because Tom moved out to Dallas, so any behind the scenes stuff that I would need from Tom, she's getting from me or getting for me in Dallas and then sending it over to me.
So do you do scheduling for it too? Like, do you use a third party app, like a
Mhm.
Hootsuite or something?
Yeah, so well, it kind of depends on the post. Everything on Instagram, I manually post, but all the other platforms, I have a scheduling tool.
Is that because it lowers engagement if you use one of those schedulers, or is that a
No,
horrific rumor?
I think it's more it's actually a horrific rumor, but
Okay,
I
got
think
it.
it's more
It's
of,
a hoax.
on Instagram, I'm a little more attached to it, so I wanna be posting it, natively, not through an app, whereas on Facebook, LinkedIn, all that stuff, it's kind of just the generic, like, link preview stuff, like, that's going on, so, like, that I'm okay with a third party posting it.
Yeah, we
Now,
don't yeah,
oh,
go ahead, Matt.
here we go.
No,
We
that
interrupt each other once an episode. Here it is, Courtney. Go for it, Eric. Finish it off. Finish off your
I was just gonna
sentence.
say, we need to start using some sort of third party publisher because it's just becoming overwhelming. We just started Broke Agent Media and we have all these blogs and articles and different podcasts and stuff. So I'm looking into doing that for Instagram. If you had to choose one, which one would you recommend?
So it depends on what you're looking for from the tool. So, like, I like Sprout Social because Sprout Social shows like automatic analytics. Like, you can get very, very nitty and gritty. Like, if it's weekly reports, monthly reports, you can attach YouTube to Sprout Social. So, I like it for reporting. But I really like Gain app. It's like a pink app. It's actually pretty cheap too. You can have, I think it's $100 a month for up to 10 users to use it. The reason I like Gain is because it has approval processes and they're very, very clean. So like when my social media coordinator is making content for Ferry International, she sends it to me for review and it kind of goes down a spider web and I can write notes directly to her and it shows like an actual version of what it's going to look like on the app. So it's really very um it's easy to look at, and plus what's nice about it is that you can have multiple people look at it before it actually publishes or before it actually is like going into review. You can also publish stories from it, which a lot of other tools you can't do stories. So I like to use Gain for like my other stuff, but then for reporting, I like to use Sprout Social.
There you go, Eric.
Sick.
Do you want to just hire Courtney? I mean,
Yeah, I do
you're trying to
actually.
get all her tricks.
Yeah, we're
Her
trying to
tips.
snipe you away from Tom here, I think.
He would
That's the
fight you to
move.
the nails, that's for sure.
Yeah.
And Tom would win. Tom would definitely win in a
Okay,
fight.
easy, Matt. I mean,
I'm just
you're all
saying,
over
he's
him.
got. I mean, the guy's
I'm-
got a set of arms on. I mean, so
you
do
say
Eric.
everyone has a set of arms on him.
No,
You've said I had a set of arms.
I give
on
credit
me
where credit's
maybe
due. I do think
20% of these podcasts.
I do think
And now
you
you're saying
have
Tom has a set
arms.
of arms on him? I don't know
I've
about
seen
that.
Tom in the gym. I only see you do push-ups.
That's true.
Wow.
Well, Tom posts pictures of himself at the gym sometimes.
Do you feel attacked?
Yeah,
Nice.
I don't really do that.
I sense it.
No,
Yeah, I do
Eric
feel a
doesn't go to
little
the
attacked.
gym.
Yeah.
Are you crazy?
I
He
did
walks
until
his
the
dog and
pandemic.
goes because of the pandemic.
I was going to Equinox, 4 times a day and doing arms.
Oh no.
Yeah, he was going to Venice Muscle
no.
Beach. He's got a Muscle Beach over there doing the pull-up bar.
Yeah, right.
So, Courtney, there seems to be a bit of a stigma, I would say, with social media managers in this day and age, because the whole thing is like, oh, you got to be yourself and you got to show your personality. But
Mm.
some people are just too busy
Mm.
to post all the time. So would you recommend people have a social media manager?
Well, see, in the real estate industry, it's interesting because I like when I talk to a lot of people, they have their assistant doing social, which like blows my mind, because this is my full-time job. Like, how do I have a full-time job if it's not really a job, you know? So I think that people should have some sort of level of someone focusing solely on their social and not having to do all these other mundane tasks for them. Even if it's just like a social media coordinator, not you're paying that manager salary, but at least someone who knows how to post the content you're looking for, that has a little bit of copywriting experience. I would at least hire at the minimum someone to do that, and you can have your marketing manager manage that person.
That's so true now that I think of it, because I know a lot of people who have their assistants just kind of post for them, and it's never good.
Hmm.
But the thing is like, how can an assistant be creative? Like,
Yeah.
they have to do a whole job, and then they're expected to be creative on top of that when they're like writing offers or doing whatever, booking showings and stuff. And then
Yeah.
they got to post and like come up with a creative, clever caption and stuff. Like, that's just too much.
Yeah, and that's when people leave is because, like, you don't wanna offload all this work onto them, and then they're like, "I didn't get hired to do this. I was supposed to be, answering your calls and your emails, and now I'm doing social? Like, why am I doing this?" Or they find a love for it and they go somewhere else where they can fully express and be themselves, with doing social. So, I do think they need to have some sort of level of someone that focuses solely on their social.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of these agents are kind of control freaks, egomaniacs a little bit.
But it's not even egomaniac, because you're not an egomaniac, but you're
Well,
you don't want to like let
Eh,
go of your Instagram and your
yeah.
account. Like, you just can't find the person to
Well, that's
do
why
it.
I think like Courtney's a rare breed here where she knows so much about social and actually studied upon Tom's voice. I mean, look at what she said earlier in the podcast about knowing when he uses periods and when he doesn't use capitalizations and everything. Like
Oh, Eric,
that sort of detail is incredible. Like, no wonder why Tom trusts you.
yeah.
I can't
I could
imagine
I
giving my
I had your
DMs to
voice
someone.
down the first day we met.
No,
You're
did
the
you?
easiest person to yes. You are like,
All right, take over the broke agent account for a week.
He's like, "Give me
It's
the
yours.
keys."
Yeah, I'll give you the
I don't
keys. Let's
want
see
it
what you do.
because I know You
I
mean
Like,
bet.
the key? You mean the key?
Yeah, I'll give you the key to
the
surviving
key.
real estate.
Yeah.
I'll give you the password. It's the same as every password that I have on literally everything.
Okay. All right.
We'll see how you do.
I'm just saying it's
It's a lot.
you just don't want to find the person.
No,
You could
I would want to find the person,
nah,
but it's fun also. Like
Yeah.
Courtney,
it is fun, but
you also run your own social media and you have a big following as well, and you're giving, content advice, not necessarily even specifically to agent, but you're also kind of running like your own Instagram consulting. I don't know if it's a separate business, but you are providing other content that's very useful to agents.
Yeah, so the reason that kind of came about is because a lot of people are reaching out to Tom, and then Tom was sending them directly to me because, like, Tom is just such a giving person. Like, he wants to share the knowledge and the people in his network with everyone. So he was like sending all these people over to me, and I'm like, Tom, I don't have time to respond to these people. They're, how do I set up this? And I'm like, I don't work for you. And so Tom was like, well, this was during the pandemic, and he's like, well, why don't you start a YouTube channel or like start something where people can contact you and or just put out the facts for them. And Tom doesn't care. Like, what's that? I'm not going to be affecting what I'm doing for him. And if anything, then he just sends the person my way, like, oh, I don't go look at Courtney's post for it. So I just slowly started posting on Instagram, like reels and like just quote cards and stuff that I can like help people out with. But I'm not doing any sort of like consulting. I think from working at an agency, I learned that I don't like having multiple clients. I don't like being at, multiple people's beck and call. Like with Tom, I just have one person. At 5 o'clock, I can leave. After hours, I just text him for stuff and that's it. Like it's the perfect balance for me.
Matt, I'm stopping the podcast.
okay.
Guess what I was doing today?
What?
Scrolling through real estate Facebook groups to get content. But instead of content, I got something else. You know what that was?
No.
The same question over and over again. What is the best real estate CRM?
Yes. This is the most frequently asked question in real estate agent history, Eric. Don't you know that?
No chance.
Well, I'm going to let you know a little secret here, so come close, all right? The people have spoken, and the answer is unequivocally Boomtown. Boomtown is the #1 user-rated real estate CRM with all of the tools and tech you need to generate and convert conversation-ready leads. To check out Boomtown and see how you can score $750 in free digital advertising, visit boomtownroi.com/overask. Now that's Boomtown, roi.com/overask. Do you have, I had such a good question, and then I looked at Eric's face.
Yeah, no,
Ruined
that
it.
happens.
Damn. Yeah, it ruined the whole
The
experience for
key
me.
to ruining the
The key,
podcast is
yeah,
looking directly into my
oh,
eyes.
here it is. Here it is. Are you noticing any trends on Instagram in particular, because we're Instagram feeds, that are helping grow or getting a ton of engagement, or like what are you seeing out in the wild right now?
Are you talking for like real estate agents specifically or like anyone?
Yeah,
Let's do Tom specifically, then real estate
yeah,
agents.
yeah.
Like on Tom's page, are you saying? Or
Yeah,
What's
like
so like
crushing it
what
for Tom?
works for Tom,
uh-huh.
and then I guess not everything that works for Tom will work for everybody,
Mhm.
but what's working for Tom right now, and then what in general should agents be doing? So it's a two-parter.
Yeah, so for Tom, it's more of the like behind the scenes, the pictures of his family, the like more organic side of Tom. I think people see him on stage and he's like this big presence and like they think that, he's on these shows and he has YouTube and he has this that people at the end of the day want to know that he's a normal person too. And so people like to see like the reels that he posts with his mother-in-law. Like people love that stuff. They just like to see that, oh, Tom, at night, Tom's hanging out with his mother-in-law and his wife, he's just a normal person. Like that stuff is, and or anytime he posts his wife, people love any personal type of content, like little inside peek into Tom. People love that. And
And do you think that works for agents also? The more personality they show, hobbies, showing their personal life, that they should do that also?
I think so. I think because the main thing is that you're looking for someone that you can connect with on a personal level too, right? You spend time with this person that you want to make sure like, oh, we have stuff in common and we're not just talking about, how much I'm giving you at the end of the day. It's like,
Right.
oh, you look at their page and oh, they have kids. I have kids. Like I think that you need to show that personal aspect of your life as well, and not just work, 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 work. Because people at the end of the day, when you go out to dinner with your friends, are they wanting to talk about work? No, you know?
Hopefully
Yeah.
not.
Hopefully, yeah.
Yeah, I
I
direct the
mean, sometimes
conversation away from real estate as
with
quickly
real
as
estate, I
possible.
know everyone's always like, "How's the market?" And then I'll say
Oh god.
something, and then they'll be like, "Well, we're not selling." I'm like, "Well, you brought it up, so
Yeah.
then now it's
Yeah.
weird." So
Now I gotta
that's
go.
yeah. Now I got to go home for dinner.
Yeah.
That's true though, because I noticed that a lot with Dr. Phil.
Oh,
What,
Yeah,
on his
he
Instagram?
interesting.
Oh, did
on
he
the
post
show
pictures of his family? Or what do you mean?
on the show he brings his wife a lot, and the audience
Mm.
eats it up.
Oh
Like,
yeah.
they just love seeing Dr. Phil with the wife, and then he'll say smart little jokes of like, "Oh, if I did that with my wife, she would put me in my place," and they laugh and eat it up, and
Yeah.
it probably made him way more successful. I mean, I watch Dr. Phil. I don't miss an episode.
I was just gonna
So
say,
Oh
you
wow.
regularly watch Dr. Phil?
Oh yeah.
you don't?
Do you, Courtney? Is that a thing that people do?
No, do you have a Dr. Phil tattoo or like
Yeah, that
I'm
how
is
serious
kinda
is this?
psychotic,
Yeah,
actually.
actually, if it's just yeah, no. I mean,
You're like, do you know
he's a
Dr. Phil?
great man. I wish. I wish. I don't know where he resides,
Do you
but
actually watch him on a weekly basis?
yes.
Oh, interesting.
Are
Okay.
we? This
Yeah, that
wasn't.
is interesting.
That's I feel like
I
that's a
enjoy Dr.
niche.
Phil.
That's a different you're a
No.
Yeah.
different breed if you're watching Dr. Phil.
Okay. Well, we
You're a
need to get
different
people.
type of human
We need to
than
Yeah.
get
me.
people in the comments. If you made it this far, comment below and let me know if you watch Dr. Phil. I'm
Yeah.
gonna assume 87% of people do.
87% of
Well,
agents fail in the first 5 years.
yeah. Well,
Yeah.
It's
isn't
the
he
only statistic we know.
well, isn't he on daytime? So are you like do you watch Judge Judy too?
Oh, Courtney clearly knows his schedule too if she knows
Yeah.
that he's on
I
daytime.
mean,
Do you
I
know what
think
channel he's on?
No, I
well,
don't.
it's different
Okay.
for me, but Judge Judy is great. She lost me a bit when her perm's gone. She's got
Oh,
long
my
hair
God.
now, and it's kind of it threw me. I didn't even know it was Judge Judy. I do like
she's racking in that dough.
The Steve Harvey judge show though. I enjoy that.
Oh
I enjoy
yeah.
anything Steve Harvey. Yeah. Anyways,
I'll probably think Steve
no, I
Harvey.
do watch Dr. Phil. I think it helps my real estate business actually. So yeah,
Wow.
little tip for agents there.
Speaking of little tips for agents, just kidding. Courtney, what are the top 3 mistakes you see agents making on Instagram?
There's a lot. But
Yeah.
I think that the top 3, I guess, would be my main nitpicky thing is the at name. I hate when people have their at name like Orange County Realtor or like something like that. Like put your name because I
Mhm.
don't really care if you're Orange County Realtor, you know? Like I need to know what your name is. Like the other day I found this guy's account and his reels are amazing. Like he's doing the trending sounds correctly into his niche and everything's great, but I look at his profile, I have no idea what his name is. His at name is like Pacific Home underscore realtor or something like that. And then when I go in his bio, it doesn't even have a name. I'm like, what is your name? Is your name Pacific? Like,
Yeah. What an idiot, huh?
you
I
know,
mean,
no,
that would
no, no.
suck though. If
Yeah,
he con
this
if
guy's
he
a moron. I hope
if
you're
he
listening to this,
Yeah.
Pacific Homes.
I mean, if he contacts us, he's like, actually, my name's Pacific Home.
I know that I feel
Exactly.
terrible. I'm like,
He's like,
No,
yes,
you have good trending audio though.
yeah,
Don't worry.
yeah.
yeah, good for you, Pacific Home.
The other thing I would think is like not participating in trends. I know that it's like so annoying, but like Reels is a thing right now, and you should be creating content based off of it. You know, using the trending sounds and manipulating them and seeing how you can fit them into your market or fit them into your content. Like you should be using that as a priority because the platform is favoring it. So like why are you just going to post static posts? You know, like you need to follow along with the trends or you're going to get left behind. The other mistake would probably be not posting consistently, like posting maybe once a week, once every, month or like whenever you feel like it. That's a huge killer, especially on your engagement, your following, all of that stuff. Like you need to be consistent, posting at least every day or every other day. You know, you need to have some sort of content go out. Um, but yeah, there's
Let me
just a
ask
lot of things.
let me ask you this about the trends.
Mhm.
Do you think some people hit the trends a little bit too hard and the trend jacking, if you will, becomes a little bit too obvious and it seems like they're just creating content to appease the algorithm and it just kind of gets annoying? Don't you think they need a little bit of a variety?
Yeah, but those people are gonna get lost in the sauce anyways. So it's like
Lost in the sauce.
if they wanna do that, if they wanna over-index and overuse or copy people, go for it, because 'cause they're just gonna be cannibalized by people that are actually getting the views and the followers, so
True.
let them do
Hear
it,
that, Pacific Homes?
No, don't
Yeah,
say that.
Pacific Homes. Cannibalize. These are
You hear
very
that?
vicious
Yeah,
terms
that was
to use
aggressive.
I
for
know,
something like
sorry.
that.
Jeez.
Sorry. Not
Courtney
Dr. Phil
woke up and
language.
chose violence today.
I know.
Exactly. Matt, you hear that? She's talking about consistency.
I
If you
know.
posted 5 times a week,
I
you'd have
know.
100,000 followers. Do you watch Matt's videos at all, Courtney?
No.
Oh, well,
Oh,
let's stop the
So
podcast
yeah,
then.
then podcast over.
well, that just
You
means that
just
you're
you
not
just hit him
popping
where
up
it
on my
hurts.
feed, so
That's true.
You've
True.
said, hey, Tom likes them, so
Yeah,
I
it's
guess
either
that's
Tom or
always
Courtney.
Tom. Or maybe
you'll
you
never
like
know.
them and don't even watch them,
You'll
which
never
is the
know.
worst offense you can do on Instagram.
Anyway, Matt creates these really high quality skits and posts them
Mhm.
basically every Wednesday. And he
Okay.
does stuff on his stories and everything too. But what would you recommend for someone like him who's doing these skits where he feels like, okay, it's got to be super high quality for me
Mhm.
to post something? What would you recommend for someone like that?
Well, that's
Not even high quality, but it needs to be funny for me. Like it needs to get past my like I don't know. I
well,
need to think it's really funny.
I would think that would just be one show. Like, for instance, like, Tom has 5 different shows. So,
Hmm.
like, we have Mindset Monday, which is, like, the short form piece of content, then one that's talking solely about marketing, one that's talking solely about teams. I would just use that as one of your buckets of, like, that's your funny skit content, but your other content needs to be, supplied to the other half of your following that are looking for, your listings, whatever you want to post on there, what you're doing daily, family stuff. Like you need to compensate a little bit.
Yeah,
Different buckets, Matt.
I need a bulk. This it's not an intervention,
I
okay?
know.
Well, it
Sorry.
kind of is.
I'm like
We're
Well,
here
Dr.
right
Phil.
now. We are, yeah,
yeah, it comes in.
bring in
Um,
Steve Harvey.
that's true. No, I know I need to post more, and if I do, yeah, like because when I do post like way more consistently, even on just stories, I pick up so many followers.
Yeah.
Like, and yeah, I know I need to post more, and I've been thinking about what you said, Courtney. Like, not I mean, I've thought about it before you said it. Haven't been thinking about it since you said it, which was 1 minute ago.
Yeah.
That I need to like just have more variety, and
Mhm.
I need to start bulk recording. I think, and just so I have at least something or like 2 or 3 things to go out every week.
Yeah.
Um, Another mistake though for realtors, I find profile pictures.
Oh yeah. The bad
Oh
lighting.
my, you can tell if someone's profile is going to be good before you see it
Yeah.
just by the picture.
Yeah. That's very true. And then
Hmm.
you go and you scroll through their feed and you're like, that profile picture was taken 20 years ago. You're like,
Yeah,
ah,
I
The
know.
classic old realtor profile joke.
yeah.
I've hit that one a few times in my day, right, Matt?
Yeah.
Damn.
Bam.
Yeah,
Did you
bam.
just say bam?
Oh,
No, I didn't say
sorry.
bam.
No, that's good. That's
You
gonna
should
be
start saying that
the
as your
promo.
you should start saying that for your catchphrase to promote it.
We
That's what we're
wanted to, and
doing.
Eric kind of turned it down though.
Oh,
Saying bam?
Yeah, he kind of shot it down in the
N-
comments.
really?
What are you talking about? We've
Well,
been promoting it as bam this entire week.
I know, but
I'm not going to involuntarily just say bam like I'm a comic.
we said we were gonna comment bam on every
Oh,
post, and you
right,
said
right.
no,
Oh.
Yeah, no, we got
Oh,
to
which I
comment
think is
something
funny.
good. Do
And
you?
I'm getting a bam tattoo.
Yeah,
are you?
exactly.
Yeah, on my chest.
Right
Right.
next to the
Right
Right
Dr.
here.
Phil
next to
tattoo.
Dr. Phil.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dr. Phil, yeah. You should
Courtney, do
actually
you?
do
What are your
block out that
comments
word.
for? Sorry, back to the comments. So if we commented
Yeah.
bam on everything, obviously that would be stupid because people would just be like, "This is kind of annoying."
Mhm.
What do you comment for Tom that gets like the most engagement? Are you doing crying emojis on our accounts? Are you doing heartfelt things? Like, what's your comment strategy like with Tom?
I think it's been a thing now that like I kind of know who Tom's friends are or like who he talks to, how he talks to that specific person. And I think that's just been like studying his, I don't know, social habits online. That like I know with certain people, like what emojis he uses, or like when he texts me, the type of emojis he starts to use. I'm like, okay, Tom's now using that emoji. I'm gonna start using it on his stuff. Or I see how I look back at people that he's commented on before and I just kind of see how he comments to that specific person or what the post was about that he commented, and I'll just use that phrase onto multiple things, or I just shift it around. So I won't comment the same thing on every single person because they're gonna be like, "Why does he keep putting fire emojis?" But
Right.
then so I just, like, switch it up.
Smart.
Yeah. So you'll never
That's
really know.
Eric. I thought of a genius idea. You should stop talking to people in your DMs. You should just
Hmm.
like and do like cry emoji, fire emoji, couple emojis. Then someone could take over your account, no problem.
I do that sometimes. I basically just reply haha or like laughing my ass off when someone tags me in something sometimes. So I am kind of working my way towards that.
Yeah,
But it's
that's
all
a good
about
idea.
the personal conversation you're having with people in the DMs, because then
Yeah.
they feel like they're more, part of your community, and
Yeah,
they're
I would have a,
more
I
likely to
would
send you content.
Yeah.
Yeah. For Tom, I would have like a cool little, like for me, Courtney, I comment on Eric's posts a lot. I'm sure you've seen them many
Mhm.
times. They're funnier than the actual post.
Uh-huh.
The comments are just fantastic. But I comment a lot about Grant Cardone, and I tag Grant Cardone. It's like
I've
an
seen one.
ongoing joke.
Yeah.
You see? Okay, good.
Yeah.
Then it's working. But I feel like Tom should have one like, all aboard the ferry, ferry express or something.
Like a 10x slogan type. He's got a few
Yeah,
slogans. He's got
he should.
wake up, kick ass, repeat, right?
Yeah, he has, like, "It's bananas," he'll say a lot. He'll
That's
Right.
say
what you should be commenting. I post a video and then he goes, "Wake up, kick ass, repeat." I would be,
so
I
annoying.
would, I would pin that in a second.
Oh
Yeah.
my gosh, I'd look at it and be like, "What the hell is he on this morning?"
Have you ever posted something that he said, "Courtney, I don't like that. Remove that"?
No,
Never.
no,
Jeez,
No one's ever said like, "Hey, this is doesn't sound like him." That's pretty incredible.
no, I've never.
that is.
If anything, it'll be like, let's say I post like a image that's being used for the blog. Tom will text me and be like, I don't like that image of me. Like, I'm gonna delete it." And I'm like, "Okay." And then and then I'll send him like, "Do you want this one?" He's like, "Sure." Like, I've had that happen maybe once, like an image, but nothing
Mm.
to the fact of like comments, nothing. If anything, I'm going back and I'm correcting his grammar for stuff that he's been posting or,
That
Right.
would be me. That would be me. And my grammar, Eric, your grammar's, see, that's like a mix of me and you, Eric. My grammar's bad, but you would not let anyone post any picture of you.
Right.
You would have to like know what picture it was.
Yeah.
That's
But the thing
100% true.
the thing is though with the grammar, like I learned because when I was at the agency, they were so, so strict about that stuff because you had like these clients that were paying money that they're like, "Oh my God, you didn't put a period, like, how dare you?" All this stuff. But with Tom, I remember like I spelled something wrong and I was like, "Oh my gosh, like I'm so sorry. Like I'll edit it." And he was like, "Okay." Like he just like did not even care. He's like, yeah, just edit it. Like it's really not that like okay. I was like, "Oh,
Yeah.
like, yeah, it really isn't a big deal, you know?"
Yeah,
So,
I mean, doing marketing for agents, I used to be like an assistant, a second assistant, I guess, for an agent here in Los Angeles, and we were doing his Facebook posts and email blasts and brochures and everything, MLS descriptions, and obviously, anytime there's a typo in the MLS description, that's a disaster. The seller might
yeah,
kill you. But if you do something like that, it kind of represents the agent in a poor way. But for someone like Tom and who's so busy, I think it kind of makes more sense that there'd be some typos. It's like, I don't really care that much. This is still good content. That's
exactly,
okay. For a real estate agent,
exactly.
sometimes if it's a buttoned up marketing piece, then that's a little, more iffy, I
Yeah.
guess.
Yeah, like, if it's an ad and you're spending money on it, yeah, I
Right.
understand that, but, like, Tom, if he'll always, like, he'll write stuff on Twitter, like, screenshot it and, like, use it as an Instagram post. You can see so many grammar edits in the actual tweet that he had screenshotted, but people don't care about that stuff, they just care about the content, you know? They're not, like, in the comments, like, "You spelled 'to' wrong." Like, no one
Some
ever
people.
does that.
Oh,
Yeah.
I don't. For me, I don't know if people
Uh-oh.
like. I'll get so many people on if I spell anything wrong, and
Really?
I'm mortified, and I'll message Eric about it. And then sometimes it'll be too late because no, when you post a story and it just hits right
Yeah.
away, and you're like, yeah, and then you notice an error after, you're like, you can't go back now.
No.
Like that's it.
You s-
And then
No.
it sucks so much when you post a story and the engagement's terrible and you're just completely done for the entire rest of the day. Not
Yeah.
like you're gonna stop posting, but it's just like, all right, like I'm not getting any engagement today.
Yeah.
yeah,
That happens regularly. Do you
Yeah.
ever try to post like I always try to post with the most engaging story first, so it kind of jolts the algorithm throughout the day. Do
Mhm.
you have a story strategy for Tom where it's like, okay, I'm going to start with this, and that's going to get a lot of engagement, then go into the next one?
Well, my story strategy is that Tom's on a different time zone. So Tom is up in the morning at a certain hour that we're all asleep, but his um it kind of spews more central time, like his followers. So like Tom will post like the first thing in the morning, which is like 4 a.m. here, and he's posting like him at the gym or he's posting something, and that kind of just like lights it already because of the time is like whatever he's posting. But I like every morning he posts something. Yeah.
So he starts it off. He leads it off. That's
Yeah.
good.
And
So
then
if
at
it
night
goes to shit right away, it's his fault. It
Yeah,
can
exactly.
never be your fault.
not true, not true.
I mean, that's good. That is a terrible feeling though, Eric, when you post something and even when it's a good like a good story
Hmm.
and like you're like, yes, like it's an announcement or like something you're really excited about,
Yeah.
just doesn't pick up and you're like, that's it. Like you can't really do anything
The
about it. I mean,
announcement is over.
they either
Yeah.
choose you that day or they don't.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's
Or
what's tricky.
you just pretend to go live for like 2 seconds, end the live, and then your story will be at the front again.
That's
So,
genius.
Oh,
That's a tactic
hey,
right there. We've never
yeah.
used that one.
I've never heard of that in
Have
my
you done
life.
that before? Does that?
Yeah. Yeah,
Wow.
when you go live, it pushes
Yeah.
even all the stories. So, like, I'd go live, like, click that I'm going live, and people are like, "Oh, they're gonna go live," and then you just, like, end the live, and then they're like and then they go back to your story because 'cause they're looking for the live, and then yeah.
Love that tip. That's
You
fantastic. I have another tip, by the way, Matt. Courtney,
after that, how are you gonna follow that up?
this
Okay.
is a new one, and
Okay.
I didn't invent this tip, unfortunately. I've seen
Okay.
it circulating around meme pages for like the last 60 days, I would say.
Okay.
And do you know Brock 11 Johnson? Pantana loves this guy. He's like
Yeah.
a Instagram coach guru.
Yeah.
He posted the other day saying that you should screen record if you're posting like a screenshot of a tweet or a static image, screen record it for 1 second and then post that as a video. And then it's going to get, hundreds of thousands of plays because people are reading something, but it's
Mm.
looping every second. And
Yeah.
Instagram likes video more than they do static images. Have you
Yeah.
That's
tried that
pretty
yet?
much my tip though.
So it's a motion graphic. That's what
No.
they call it. Essentially,
Well,
yeah.
No,
the
no.
graphic isn't in motion. It's
Yeah,
just
but
the static image, but it's recorded for 1
I
second.
noticed you did that the other day.
I did, and it worked.
But that's pretty much my tip though.
What do you mean
Oh,
that's your tip? You've never done that in your life.
I talk really fast,
okay.
so then people have to watch my video like 3 times.
That's smart.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah.
That is
But
really
the thing,
smart.
like reels only loop twice. Sometimes I want to watch a reel a few more times, but a video
True.
just keeps going and going and going. But I
Yeah.
feel like
True.
Instagram's going to pick up on this because it's kind of just like a skeezy way to get
Yeah.
views.
Yeah, that is true. I mean,
Yeah.
They
don't
don't
let
they don't let you have like too much fun for too
No, they
long.
don't.
No, they don't.
They don't.
They're going to figure this one out very quick. So probably by
Yeah.
the time you guys
Yeah.
listen to this, it's over.
It's gonna be
Yeah.
gone.
But maybe
But
try it out. I did it with a screen record of a tweet because people are reading it, and it
Yeah.
got like 160,000 views, and the retention on that video was 800% because people are watching it so many
Yeah.
times. So maybe try
it is
that
pretty
with
genius.
something. Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, you're gonna notice Eric and I going live 37
a
times a day
million
now.
times a day. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
We'll
That
go
is a
live right
genius
now.
step
Yeah.
too.
You gotta
Yeah,
block
I'm
people.
gonna go live right after this. Uh, but that's unreal. Okay, so Courtney, let's wrap this. Eric, are we doing a rapid fire here, or are we just going for some tips and tricks to end off on?
Let's do some more tips and tricks.
Okay, let's do
Even
some
though she
tips.
just gave us the best trick
So
we've
you
ever
did,
gotten on this
you
podcast.
gave us 3. We need 15 more.
Yeah, we need 15 more.
joking.
Give us your top 15 things
We're
agents
gonna
do
need a
right on
playbook.
Instagram. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
What
Now
is
what? Here, I'll go first, Matt.
okay?
Okay.
It's turning
What
into
is
a
the
rapid
number
fire. Okay.
one thing you would do as a real estate agent to get more followers on Instagram today?
Post reels.
Cool.
Yeah. I know I was talking to Eric about this when I last saw him at that video mastermind, but like I started an Instagram for my dog just to kind of like mess around with stuff, and like I didn't really care because like I wasn't the face of it. And all I did was consistently post reels. I mean, I was posting 3 reels a day for at least 6 months. And within that 6 month time period, I gained like 10,000 followers. And I was getting like so many DMs. And now my dog has like 15.7 thousand followers, and I have like all these brand deals, and I like make money off of it, and
That's so cool.
just
Little
from
doggy
reels,
influencer.
just from reels. Like
I need to do that with. I'm doing that with my dog when I get home,
you got to do it. It's like I
and then I'm
have.
gonna go live with them every 2 minutes.
You should do collab posts with your dog
That would
and
be
actually go live with your dog.
I
Like
mean,
have your
That's
wife hold the
genius.
phone to him and then you're just talking to him.
Have you seen Tatum Talks, Courtney, on TikTok?
no.
The dog, and they like talk for him, and it's like the cutest thing. I
I've
love
seen
it
that.
so
It's
much.
hilarious.
Yeah, it's so
People
good.
people love that animal content. But yeah, it like the reels thing, I just started messing around with it and putting like actually putting the text on it because like, SEO and yada yada all that stuff. But yeah, I was posting 3 a day and that it picked up so quick that even the ones I'm embarrassed about are buried. So
hmm
That's genius.
What's the dog's
Like
Instagram handle?
at the North Aussie.
Okay, we'll take a
at
look.
the North Aussie.
Yeah,
AUSSIE, not OZZY, right?
true. Yep.
Yeah, I'm into the dogs, so I know a
Dr.
thing or
Phil and
two.
dogs.
Yeah,
Exactly.
Dr. Phil and
Lethal
dogs.
combo.
Yeah, it's an unreal combo. So you've heard it here first, and second and third. Do reels. Like, what do y'all doing? Do reels.
If you're
This
still
is for
listening
our
to this
listeners.
podcast and you're not posting reels at this point, I don't know what the hell you're doing.
Yeah,
Well,
like post a reel of this podcast.
Yeah,
it'll
please.
be easy. Well, did you see that TikTok came out with like a university for like how to use, like how for creators to create TikToks? Did you see that?
That's pretty genius.
They
No.
came
No, I
out
didn't
with
see that.
they came out with kind of like this it's like a 5-piece guide, and they show you like how to correctly use TikTok or like how to become a creator, and they called it like Creator Agency University. It's called like CAP University, and they basically are like trying to give people the tools to become like creators on TikTok.
Hmm.
And it's like
TikTok's hanging in there.
I
I mean, if
know.
anything, they're winning. I mean, they just implemented stories, so that
Yep.
ruins my entire argument about Instagram being like a multifaceted
I
platform.
don't like the stories though.
The
on
TikTok
TikTok.
Yeah,
stories.
they're weird.
Yeah.
But TikTok, like the scrolling through TikTok is still just so much better than Instagram. It's crazy. Like if
Yeah.
I open up that app, I have to carve out 15 minutes
Yeah,
at
but
least. and then
there's
15
something
minutes.
about TikTok where I need to legit take like 3 days off at a time. Like
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
don't go
I
on
know
for
it's
days at a time.
scary to go on there.
Yeah. Well, and they're pushing heavily lives right now. Like they want people to do like live selling, like people
Mhm.
do like promoting brand stuff. So they're like really, I mean, essentially using every aspect of their platform.
And there's so many different badges and stuff you could give
I
on a
know.
TikTok live. Like it seems so much more animated and aesthetically pleasing, all the colors being sent to everybody. You just feel
The
like
little
you're right
gifts.
in their Yeah, exactly. You feel like
Yeah.
you're right in their face. With the Instagram lives, it doesn't feel as authentic as the TikTok lives. When you're watching a
Yeah.
TikTok live, it's more like a YouTube or a Twitch or something like that.
True.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very true.
Yeah.
You guys are like, anyways.
Well,
No, that's
TikTok's
good.
not my forte. I don't know. I don't like it.
Yeah.
It doesn't do it for me. I
Is
was just
Tom-
talking about Vine the other day, but yeah.
Is
Is
Tom
Tom on
crushing
TikTok?
TikTok?
The TikTok thing is, so one thing is that there's a kid who has his at name, and the kid like
Oh, that sucks.
we cannot get the at name, but it's been one of those things where TikTok is hard to create mass amounts of content with someone like Tom. Like he's so busy that we're doing shows and other stuff on YouTube, like trying like dance for me, it's like just not not worth the time at the moment.
Yeah. I know the dancing stuff is too much for me. I can't.
Yeah.
It's insane. It's like, yeah. But pretty much on my TikTok, all that comes up is dogs and music. So that's nice.
That's a good for you page.
I said what comes up on mine and on the podcast with Courtney, so I'm not going to repeat it here.
Yeah. We know.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, now it sounds way worse. Like I'm.
No,
Yeah.
it's okay.
There was
It's
such an
Dr.
awkward
Phil
silence
content.
there. Yeah. Exactly.
Well, no, I had to think
He's
about
saying
it for a
golf
sec.
shots
I
and
was like,
girls, that's
you
all I
just said
said.
the podcast with Courtney, and I was like, Courtney's on the podcast right now. What are you
Well, I'm talking about the
But
podcast with Tom,
Yeah.
Courtney,
I
and
know.
Jason in Dallas.
Yeah.
now I know, but that was
sorry.
the awkward silence.
Well, all
I
right.
was
felt
trying to
left
do
out.
the math. I was like, what do you mean she's right here?
You
And I
were
thought
invited. You were
I know.
invited.
Well, I
So,
know.
no
And I was,
excuses.
I know. I told Tom I needed to be flown out privately, and didn't happen. So no, I'm
So I'm not
joking.
going.
Um, so no, but Tom and I are complete boys. He knows that, boys with a Z, and we talk a lot because we have similar music taste.
Oh,
So
yeah,
I know
Tom's
when
a
I'm talking to Tom and not you, Courtney.
how do you know? I know
I
a
know
Tom.
because we talk about the
Courtney knows
Descendants.
Tom's music taste. Haven't you heard what she's been saying on this podcast?
I know, but sometimes it's just he told me to watch a documentary.
Which
Wow.
one? The Beatles one?
No, but that's a great one too.
Yeah.
If he's recommending that, I mean, I can't wait to actually meet Tom. I'll come
Have
to.
you never met Tom?
No, we just talk on DM.
Really?
I have his face for a tattoo of him too, just kind
Right
of
next to Dr.
under.
Phil.
Yeah, well, under, yeah.
Oh
No,
my
but
god.
he's like the nicest dude ever, and I love Tom, and it's awesome that you came on and you love Tom, and clearly you know like every uh
What?
what
He's like,
Nothing.
what?
"We love Tom.
Yeah.
You love Tom.
This
You
is
love Tom. We all love
Yeah,
Tom."
it's an Oprah moment. I'm trying to
yeah.
do the Oprah. I mean, I do love Tom. He's just like a
Yeah.
nice dude. And
Yeah.
sometimes, there's some assholes that like get a little too big for their boots, and then you talk to them, you're like, whoa, don't have to be so like he's such a just a genuine cool dude. Like
Yeah.
I really enjoy chatting it up with him in the DMs.
Yeah, he's great. It's like it's one of those things too that's funny that like I didn't know who he was. Well, I wasn't like well versed in real estate stuff and now I like hit the jackpot. Like he's the funnest boss I could have ever asked for. Like doing his social is fun. It's not like, oh God, like I have to post for this person, you know? And he's just like he's given me so many opportunities too. If anything, he's not like, oh yeah, Courtney or that person does my social or whatever. He's like, oh, go on YouTube. Like, let's do a show. Like, let's film a podcast right now. Like, you need to be doing this. Like, Courtney, talk to this person. Like, he's just so giving with everything. And
Yeah.
he's not like, Courtney, stand in the shadows over there. He's like, oh, you want to talk at Blueprint? Sure. Talk at Blueprint. Like, you want to learn how to public speak? I'll teach you. Like, he's just such a great person to have in your corner.
That's badass.
Yeah.
We all love Tom here. Everyone on the podcast loves Tom. Tom's friend of the show. We know this. Eric, do you want to ask your question?
Yes. Courtney, where can the people follow you?
The people can follow me at Courtney Gracia, Gracia, not to be confused
Okay.
with Gracias.
I gotta find a better way
And-
to ask that question, man. It's like creepy the way I ask it at the
Yeah,
end.
where
there.
can the people find you?
Exactly where you set me
Yeah.
up with that too.
I
Ask
know
your
it's
final
a
question.
weird. We're still we're the number one podcast,
Yeah,
but there's
we've only
still
been doing it
there's
a
always
year.
room for improvement.
Exactly.
Yeah. You
And
can
the
say, like,
and
connect with you. Like if people want to connect with you, where can they?
I like that a lot better. Where can people
Okay.
connect with you?
hard cut. Courtney, where can people connect with you?
They can connect with me at on Instagram at Courtney
Okay, cool.
Gracia.
There we go.
Okay, that's great. That's not creepy at all. Courtney,
Yeah.
thank you so much for being on the number one podcast in the world.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. And one day we'll all meet in person. Well, besides for Eric.
That's right. Besides me, I guess.
The Broke Agent presents Over Ask Podcast.